Hello everyone, this is Jason from Primetime Aquatics. I have Joanna here, so what does that mean?
Hi, we have a new tank that got aquascaped.
We do. The 125 that we've been waiting so long to actually get up and running, it's finally done. What did you do to the tank?
Added a lot of rocks.
And?
Really big piece of wood.
Big piece of wood. What else?
Jungle Val, because you like Jungle Val.
I like Jungle Val.
And a lot of plants. You got a good assortment of plants.
So we added rocks, wood, plants. Do we add any fish?
Yes.
We added some fish too. I also want to say thank you very much to Corey from Aquarium Co-op for sponsoring this video. We don't take on a lot of channel sponsors, and Aquarium Co-op has been one of those sponsors that we've been very happy to take on because they have such awesome customer service. They really care about their customers. They care about what they're shipping. They care about how they deal with their customers. Thank you so much to Corey and Aquarium Co-op for being a part of this. Stay tuned. All right, everybody, so this is what we're starting with. This is the 125. We got the lights already in so we can see what we're doing. Joanna's going to hardscape this tank. Again, a big thank you to Corey from Aquarium Co-op for supplying the Fluval 3.0s. These are going to be fantastic lights on this tank. Should grow the plants that we have for it. Looking forward to getting this thing set up, and so we will come back when we have made some progress. All right, everyone, so we've got the sand substrate in the tank. We use 5 20-pound bags of Carib Sea Supernaturals. I like the sand. It does a good job. We've got it in a number of tanks. It's easy to clean. It's good stuff. We kept a black substrate only because we really like the way the Pellegrini look and the 75-gallon right now, so we're going to continue that. So now that the substrate is in, Joanna's going to be working on the rocks and the wood. We'll eventually get this thing planted up, and we'll see what it looks like. So Joanna's got the hardscaping done. The rocks and the wood are in. I like what she's done so far. The next step is we have to add the plants, but to do that, we're going to add a little bit of water so that that's a little bit easier for her to accomplish. All right, so this is how that's coming along right now. We've got some anubias just kind of piled up in the front that still needs to be tied to that piece of wood. We didn't have any super glue, so Joanna's running to the hardware store to get some. So we're going to get this anubias in, possibly a little bit more Jungle Val. It's not going to look super heavily planted just yet because we want some of this stuff to grow in, see what it's doing. I would like to add some crypts to this tank at some point. I like the way they look. But we're almost done with the planting. We'll fill this up, we'll get the filters running, and we will be ready to go. And on a side note, the back of the other 125 is now completely painted, and that's going to be going up soon too. And of course, we've mentioned this a couple times, but these are the fish that are going to be going into that 125. These are the Geophagus Pellegrini. They are in the 75 right now. That random African peacock is moving to a different tank. We are going to put the white skirt tetras in there as well. I like them. And we've got a special super awesome fish going in there, but they're in quarantine right now, and they're gonna stay there for the next 3 weeks, and then we'll get them in the 125 as well. But these Pellegrini, you have to be really patient with a lot of the Geophagus, and this is certainly one of those fish where patience is required. They're about 1.5 years old. They grow slow, they color up slow, but they're going to look awesome as they get older. Interesting side note, one of the things that we're gonna be doing with this tank is I really didn't soak this wood. Now, as some of you know, when you don't soak driftwood, it releases a lot of tannins, and that is kind of the look, at least initially, that I would like to see. So it might be a little bit more of a Blackwater tank, and in fact, check this out. You can see the tannins already being released from the wood, just kind of in this area right here. There's no flow, obviously, but you can see them just starting to fill up the tank. So we're going to have a bit of a Blackwater feel to this tank. It's probably not going to look real Blackwater when I reveal the tank to you after we get the fish in, but within a couple of days, we'll probably post some pictures on Instagram. Just see how dark this tank gets. Again, if you're not following us on Instagram, we post a lot of pictures there. Primetime_aquatics, and you see a lot of stuff that we just don't want to shoot a video about, but it's still pretty cool things happen in the fish room. All right, so here it is. Here is the 125 in all of its glory. And like I said, this is not done. This is just what I believe to be a decent start. We've got the Geophagus Pellegrini in here. There's 6 of them. I believe there are 4 males and 2 females. They're coming out. They're already starting to look pretty nice. They're getting used to their surroundings. They stress out considerably when they are netted. We've done that once before and they didn't like it, so I'm surprised they're out this early, just this quickly. You know, it's been about an hour or so since we pulled them out of the 75, and they're out and about, which is a good sign. One of them was kind of hanging out and hiding, but they're out. What I do like about these lights, the Fluval 3.0s, is they are making the fish look a lot nicer than the standard fluorescent bulb that we had, and certainly nicer than any of the Phoenix Stingrays that we have. You can see here these Geophagus look absolutely beautiful. But even the white skirt tetras, they have a lot more pink to them now than they did in the other tank. I think they're going to fit in nice. We have also in here a super red bristlenose. I just put one in here for now because it's a relatively new tank in terms of being established. So there's not a lot there. He's, in terms of algae, he's just there kind of hanging out in case we have uneaten food. And then as the tank matures, we might add a couple more super reds when we need them. The other thing that we added here is 3 black angelfish. Those came from the 29 gallon. I had mentioned this before, and I've mentioned it in previous fish room tour videos. A 29 gallon really isn't big enough for those 3 black angels, and so I wanted to make sure we took the opportunity here to give them their own space, and that's what we've done. They're kind of hanging out, and once this water kind of settles in and becomes a little bit older looking water, those black angels will be a lot more visible, but I'm excited to have them in the tank. We do have a surprise fish that is currently in quarantine as we speak. We picked up a number of schooling fish from a pet store, and we're going to be putting those in, but I really want to make sure they go through proper quarantine first, so it's probably going to be another 2 or 3 weeks before we see those. But when they come in, I think they're going to add a lot to this tank. I'm very excited to have them. It's something I've been wanting for a long time. It's going to fit in with our theme here, our South Central American theme. But here you can see the Pellegrini coming out, and again, the colors are absolutely fantastic. There's all 6 of them. What Joanna did with the hardscaping, I like it right now. Again, it's not very full, especially on the right-hand side. We have a small piece of wood. We have some Anubias glued to that wood. We've got a little bit of jungle vel, and that jungle vel actually came from our 40-gallon breeder, our Sahika tank, because it was growing quite large, so we took advantage of that. And so we can see that here. Then as we go towards the center, we've got some larger rocks. These rocks we picked up at a landscaping place. They were like 19 or 29 cents a pound or something like that. So way, 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 way cheaper than you'd ever find at a pet store. So money-saving tip when you're looking for rocks. The landscaping places can save you a ton of money. So we've got this large piece of wood here. We picked this up a long time ago in anticipation of doing this tank. We did not, and I mentioned this already, but we did not rinse off either one of these pieces of wood. So what I fully expect to see in the next couple days is this tank is going to get considerably darker, a lot more tannins, and that's what we wanted. I also have some catappa leaves that I'm considering putting in the tank as well, that I think would darken it up a little bit. Now, as we venture over to the left-hand side, in the rocks, Joanna put a lot of Java fern in there, and there's also, again, some more jungle val that came out of the 40-gallon breeder. I like that a lot. It's a little bit of a darker side, and that's one of the things I wanted to see in this tank, is we could have a side of the tank that's got a little bit more light, and this side's a little bit darker, and I like that if fish want to get out of the light and kind of go to a more relaxing part of the tank, they can do that. In addition to the 2 sponge filters, and these are fully cycled sponge filters, these are the sponge filters that were in the 75 with the Pellegrini. We just pulled them out, put them right in here, so we should have absolutely no problems in terms of cycling or anything like that, or ammonia or nitrite spikes. I don't anticipate any issues. The other thing that we did on this 125 is over here on the left-hand side, we have a Marineland 350, and again, the purpose of the Marineland 350 is to do a little bit of mechanical filtration, so anything that gets in the water column, it will hopefully pick that up. The only thing we've got going on in there in terms of filtration is some filter floss that I cut out from our bulk stock. I don't use the cartridges. This is a really exciting tank. I'm happy to see it finally up and running. It's been a while. We had to clear out this entire area to get it up and going. So I'm excited to see how this tank matures, how the Geophagus fit in, and the tetras that we have here, the fish that we've got coming in, the angelfish. I think it's going to be a good mix, and we still may have another fish or so that we want to add to this mix. And I'm looking forward to adding a little bit more plants, possibly some crypts or something a little bit larger over here on this side where this jungle val is. We're going to keep a pretty close eye on the jungle val. I don't want it overtaking the tank like it has in some of our tanks, so we'll make sure that we keep that properly maintained and in the areas in which we want it. But this is a really fun tank. I think Joanna did a great job. All right, so what wound up in the 75 gallon, you ask? Well, that would be Roger and Ruby. These are our red devil pair. They were in the 40-gallon breeder, and I've been saying for a very long time they couldn't stay there because they are too big. And now they've got a little bit more space in the 75 gallon. The setup is not done. We do have to put in some kind of a cave structure or barrier for Ruby, the smaller female there, just in case Roger gets a little angry, as red devils can sometimes do. They've worked out really well together for a long time. We've had them together for well over a year, maybe a year and a half. Never had an issue, but that doesn't mean we can't have an issue at some point. And if those issues happen, they can happen relatively quickly. So I'm not going to take a lot of chances here. Definitely want to give her some type of a structure so that she can feel safe. But this is pretty awesome because now they have a little bit bigger tank. I'm showing this tank now. The way it looks right now, it's basically the old Pellegrini tank. And it looks nice, right? I mean, the decorations are all where they're supposed to be. The gravel's kind of level. This will probably be the last time we ever see this tank this way. I fully anticipate he is going to rearrange this tank when he gets comfortable. He's going to stack gravel. He might rip those plants out of the ground. It'll be fun to see what he does. It's his tank, so he can do with it whatever he wants. I love this fish. I think he's totally awesome. Glad he's finally got a bigger place. This is the tank that Roger and Ruby came from. It is an absolute disaster. Lots of brown hair algae. It just doesn't look good. I'm going to break this tank down completely. We're going to figure out what fish we want to put in here. But it's going to be something different. This is going to look very different than it does now, which is basically a complete mess. So one of the fish that we had in the Pellegrini 75 gallon was this peacock. It's a mixed peacock between a red empress and an OB, or possibly a dragon blood. It's a super cool fish. I've been saying that now for a while. And the colors are going to be awesome. He's only in here temporarily until we can find him, really until he grows a little bit larger. He can go in with the other peacocks, but this is a great fish. I think it's going to work out well temporarily. The Geophagus, they're probably going to leave him alone for the most part, and I think he will leave the other fish alone. So what do we got coming up next? Well, we have the other 125 that's going to go right above this one. I'm looking forward to getting that one set up, and that should happen relatively quickly within the next 2 weeks or so at the very, very latest. Looking forward to finally getting fish in there. Again, I really want to say thank you to Aquarium Co-op for the sponsorship of this video. And again, our sponsors make it possible to do stuff like this. And Aquarium Co-op has been a supporter of this channel for a while. So Corey, thank you so much. These Fluval 3.0 lights, I think they're going to work out awesome. Give the plants the lights they need, and certainly it makes the fish look really nice. So if you enjoyed this video, share, subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one.